Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let's get some more light. Welcome to Friday. Lots and lots of rain yesterday and last night, just because we needed to put some stuff outside. Today, sunshine. Sunshine and blue skies in Hampshire. So welcome. As always, if you are watching, do please pop a hello in the comments. And we'll see where we go from there. Good morning, Karen. Bright and blustery day. Yes, it was this morning when we got up, but we have blue skies now. Yeah, a couple of little clouds, but that's about it. Yes, we had a lot of stuff. We're clearing out the loft. If you haven't seen Facebook, chaos. Absolute chaos. And we put a lot of stuff outside yesterday for people to take, or for the man to come and take away to the tip, and it got soaked, absolutely soaked. Ridiculous after all the hot weather we've had, but there you go. Timings, eh? Good morning, Claire. Good morning. So yeah, it's chaos here at Kitchen Witch HQ. Total chaos. We have to clear the loft of 29 years worth of stuff, and we have 4 days to do it. I started yesterday, more today. Absolute chaos. Good morning, Emma. Good morning, Maria. Yeah, it's funny how things work, isn't it? It's something like that. Still, I found lots of wonderful treasures in the loft so far. Some very interesting things. It's like a journey through the years, really. Good morning, Ruby. Good morning, everyone. I'll give it a couple of minutes because I know that YouTube and Facebook do take a minute to catch up. And then we will continue onwards with the chat. Magical self-care today. That's the theme for today. There's a reason for it. I'll explain in a minute. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Jackie. Good morning, Jalala. Good morning. Welcome. Lots of familiar names and some new ones too. Love it. So it is a bit chaotic and twirly here. There's a story, as always. Good morning, Jane. Ruby, can't do the live on Facebook. Yeah, Facebook is limiting now how we can stream things. So stick with YouTube. It's all good. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, David. What a week. Need a holiday. Whew, you and me too, David. Maria, losing your voice again. I spent yesterday in the loft, so very dusty. Struggling with that, I think. Good morning, Janet. You should see our loft. There are tons of things to clear away. Yes. So we had this wonderful idea. Our spare room had half my witchy stuff and half Pete's electronic drum kit. It didn't work. It didn't work for either of us. Not enough room, not enough space. Oh, there goes the dog. So Pete had a cunning plan. Why don't we use the loft? Well, it'll need some work. Well, let's see how much. Let's get someone in. Got our lovely builders in. They came 3 days ago. Had a look, said, yeah, no problem. We can do it real basic. We can make it workable. It'll all be good. We thought, yeah, we're never going to be able to afford it. They phoned back the next day with a price that was well under our budget. So we said, yeah, that'd be great. Thinking we got to, they were busy. In that phone call, he said, actually, we've just had to move some jobs around. We can start on Monday. So we've had 4 days to clear 29 years worth of loft stuff. We are being brutal. We are chucking out all sorts of stuff. You know, that stuff that you go, just put it in the loft. It'll be useful at some point. All of that is going. It's going to be, oh, hello, dog. Dog's back. You're right under there. So that's what we're doing at the moment. I spent all day yesterday in the loft. We've got all day in the loft again today. But Kitchen Witch will have its own little room, and Pete will have his drum room as well. It'll all be good. We've now got 2 or 3 weeks of absolute building chaos, which we said we'd never do again, but there you go. So it is chaos here. Not that you really needed to know all that stuff, but I like to share with you. Good morning, Hazel. Good morning, Emma. Good morning, Lolly from a wild and windy Lincoln. It was last night and it was this morning. We do now have blue skies here. Good morning, Angela. David, no small job wants to be small. Yeah, I think you're right there. Maria, I wouldn't be able to open a box in a loft as I would still be sitting, found out items for about a week. Yes, there was a couple of moments yesterday when I got lost in the contents. Good evening, Sephora. Angela, yes, clearly meant to be. It's one of those things that we thought, you know what, let's just do it. It's meant to happen. If you keep moving, that's why the blanket falls off. Dogs and children, eh? So anyway, that is on top of subject for today, magical self-care. There's a story behind that as well. So Kitchen Witch has been incredibly busy this year, particularly in the last 3 or 4 months. Ness, Heather and myself we've been firing on all cylinders and it's all come together. There are plans in the works. There are projects. There are ideas. There is my writing as well. 6 book contracts at the minute. Just so much stuff. And it's all coming together and we've had an absolute blast. We've been invited to fabulous new events, fabulous new venues to run workshops, and it's all been happening. But there was an intervention last weekend. Ness and Heather said to me, we need a chat. And I panicked. Heart went in the mouth. Oh my God, what have I done? Horrible scenarios in my head. And we've been taking on too much, basically. I've been taking on too much, basically. So they had an intervention to save me from actually, completely imploding, which I thank them for. So we have had to declare Kitchen Witch fully booked for this year, which, as it's already only August, is just mad. But there you go. We are fully booked, which is wonderful. So we've had to put out there, if you'd like us to do talks, workshops, whatever it might be, get it in the diary for next year. And it's lovely and it's wonderful. But that inspired today's subject of magical self-care because I am absolutely rubbish at it. I do take on too much. I get very excited. Stuff gets offered to us and I never want to let anybody down. So I take it all on. And that has obviously a bit of a detrimental effect. So how do you give yourself a bit of magical self-care? Or self-care in general, really? Throw some ideas out there, see where we go. Maybe we'll all gain something from it. Hopefully we will. There you go. David, your home must love you now. I've had to have words with my house again. I'm really sorry, house, but we are going to do some more building work. There's nothing else left to do after that, she says, touching wood. Everything else has been done. Angela, thankfully we don't have a loft. However, we do have a room. Yes, there's always part of the house, isn't there, where all the stuff gets lobbed in there. Well, let's get some of these up. Let's get some of these up. Jalala, when we cleared out our loft, we had 12 pairs of fairy wings. I did find a tutu in there yesterday. Still in their packets, at least 30 wigs, 3 swords. Crazy. Don't have a loft now. That's a good thing. We do have a dressing up box. Yeah, an adult dressing up box for Pete's band gigs and various other things that we've done over the years. Yes. Maria wished to had a loft as storage here is very limited. We are going to be limited. They're going to put some storage in the eaves of the house, but the main loft we are going to lose. So we have had to be brutal about stuff that we keep and stuff that we don't. Karen, everyone wants a piece of you. Yes. And I am normally, I'm normally quite willing to get, yeah, then that's the problem. I don't like to let anybody down. I don't like saying that N word. Yeah, Jane. No, I'm not very good at saying no because I like to, do stuff, and people ask us to do stuff and I don't want to say no because that's just seems mean. But we've got so much stuff planned. If we don't schedule some time in the calendar for ourselves to do bits and pieces, then nothing's going to get done. But there you go. Good morning, Trudy. Let's Emma. Really hope there'll be some good ideas today. As you know, I'm not the right. See, it's perfect for you as well, Emma. Timing. It's all about timing. Yes, let's get some magical self-care and some mundane self-care ideas out there too. Good morning, Sunflower Margie from Yorkshire. A bit blustery today. I found some photos in the loft of when I visited Yorkshire, actually, as a teenager. Excuse me. Got to know your limits or burnout. We had to have that talk to my partner, so I banned her from walking anyone for the week, and so we have a grumpy Mandy. Yeah, it is that kind of realization that you've been a bit of a numpty, really. So it's all, it's all one of those things. Angela, I'm rubbish at it. Having fibromyalgia means at some stage my body will make me stop. Yeah, my body's shouting at me today from spending yesterday in the loft, and my voice, as you can hear. I'm not getting any younger either. Yeah, it was a bit of a struggle getting out of the chair afterwards last night. Karen, I think most of us are a bit rubbish at self-care. Yeah, I think we are, aren't we? It's in our nature to be curious, so we don't like to say no to things. No, I don't. I am rubbish. Ruby, we recently emptied the loft of baby things. The babies are 23 and 28. Yes. Yeah. Our babies are no longer babies either. Zephora, I earth with bare feet every day while I walk on a couple of acres. Yeah, I think grounding is one of the things, isn't it, that perhaps we forget to do. And it's such a simple earthing, grounding. It's such a simple technique to do, and we teach it as well, that I think sometimes you forget to do it. And it's really good to just connect with the earth. If you can physically, as in earthing, taking your shoes off, putting your bare feet on the ground. Or just visualization if you can't get out into the land. Yeah, grounding is probably one of the key things, so we do forget to do it. Susie doesn't have a loft or a garage to store things in. Yeah, I think that's one of those things, isn't it? If you've got the space, you tend to hoard. One of those things, isn't it? But have that, yeah, just chuck it in the loft. Chuck it in the basement. Chuck it in the spare room. Yeah, it's one of those things. Emma, my general bit of magical self-care is to not do any magic at all. Okay, I get that. If you're physically or mentally drained, it's not worth doing any magic until you're doing the mundane to get yourself well again. I think that's very wise, Emma, very wise. Magic is working with energy. And if you are working magic to heal, to protect, to whatever it might be, you are working with that energy. And it can be, don't draw energy from yourself. Never draw energy from yourself whenever you're working magic. Take the energy from outside, but you still channel it. So you're still working. So yes, that's very good advice, I think, Emma. Karen, take care of you, then you'll be able to help others. Yes. Now, I always say, if you're running on empty, then you're going to be useless to everyone else. It's very easy to say it and ignore my own advice. I wrote a whole book on it. Curative Magic has some amazing ideas for daily rituals and spell working and things to deal with stress and grief and panic attacks and all of the rubbishy stuff. But actually practicing it yourself, I do forget sometimes. Good morning, Maxine. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Rowan. Jane, in the circles I go to, we're always doing readings for each other. And every time I'm told I need to get out in nature more and have more me time. Easier said than done when my legs and feet don't want to work. I get plenty of me time, but it's spent sleeping. Oh, sleep, that would be nice. I think throw in the menopause as well, and it makes life a bit interesting, doesn't it? Jalala, self-care often follows self-love. What will it mean if we say no? That people will have a lower opinion of us. What does that mean to us in a deeper sense? That we won't be loved. Self-love is recognizing that we are worthy of love simply as we are, without doing anything. Find that place and it's easier to care for ourselves. Very wise words, Jalala, very wise words. I think it's a tricky journey to get to that point. But it's, if you can, then it is worth doing. Yeah, I am rubbish at saying no. No, I think, someone says, "Oh, will you come and do a talk or come and run a workshop?" And I think, yeah, we'll squeeze that in. Because I don't want to say no. I don't want to let people down. But actually, sometimes you do have to go, do you know what? Let's put some boundaries in place here. And I have done it this week. I've had several invitations this week, and I have been very good because Heather and Ness get really scary when they're cross with me. So I've had to say, we can't do this year, but if you've got another event next year, let us know now and we'll put it in the diary. So it's a bit of saying no, but then saying yes at another time. Bit of balance. David, cleanings and healing baths. I love collecting herbs, spices, tea bags. Stuff them in a bigger tea bag and put it in a warm bath. Ask for blessings from your chosen goddess or god. Step in and soak in all that good magic. Healing baths, cleansing baths, ritual baths, all wonderful if you have a bath. We don't have a bath. But I think that it can be adapted to a shower, can't it? It can be adapted to a shower. It's adding those magical herbs and spices and things. You can hang the bag over the shower head, can't you, instead of popping it in the bath? But yes, good. And I think meditation as well. Again, another simple one like grounding. Meditation will give you the time to yourself, really. But it's making that time, isn't it? My head sort of says, really super busy, loads of stuff going on. God, don't have time to meditate. It's about setting aside that time as well, isn't it? It's about being quite strict with yourself and setting aside time for self-care. Sunflower Margie. I want to say magpie on there, don't know why. Sunflower Margie. I've been trying to turn my shed into a me space. My body is complaining, but I have my own magic space slowly. Yes, that's what we're aiming for. We are aiming for the kitchen, which will have its own little room where the girls and I can just make stuff and do stuff without falling over things. And Pete will have his own drum room. That's the plan. Janet, been taking care of the house and other things, so I haven't felt too magical. And I think that sometimes the mundane stuff gets in the way, doesn't it? Sometimes life happens and other stuff gets in the way. That's the rough bit about being an adult, isn't it? But I think it is important to set aside. And I'm very aware that I'm saying things that I'm not very good at following myself. I'm perhaps trying to talk myself into it. So you're all allowed to nag me. I give you permission to nag me. I think it is about putting aside time, isn't it? I love reading. Terry Pratchett, obviously. But I love, my other go-to is I listen to a podcast at nighttime. So when I get into bed, I listen to an audiobook. Podcasts, history podcasts sometimes, but generally I listen and re-listen to Arthur Conan Doyle, to Sherlock Holmes stories being read, and that's kind of my comfort thing. And I know them so well that it doesn't matter if I fall asleep. And it is having those things, comfort things, isn't it? I've been doing some sewing lately, and that I've found quite therapeutic as well. It is about finding things that work for you. We have a garden, and it's lovely to step out in the garden and just The girls and I went to the beach a couple of weeks ago. We went for a jolly, but there was lots of talk about this is the problem. We go to things, we sit and we talk, and all these other ideas and inspirations come out. So we end up filling our to-do list, make it even bigger. But we went to the ocean, and the ocean for me is a place to release. It is. Let's just let go of everything while we're at the beach. Um, you have to have your place, your space, to your sanctuary, if you like. Zephora. I had a massive blip a couple of years ago, COVID, redundancy, menopause. So now I struggle to say yes if it's off the homestead and you know what is joyful. Do you know, I am very much like that. We do get out and about, obviously, but there have been times, and I'm with you on the menopause as well, that it was the menopause that gave me panic attacks that I'd never had before. Um, those bizarre, I don't want to step outside the front door feelings, and the menopause gifted me with those, which I did write about in the Curative Magic book, actually. But it is about perhaps the realization that you're in that situation first, acknowledging that you're in that situation. I think that last weekend where the girls did the intervention was the kind of, oh yeah, yeah, I've been taking on too much. So it might be that you realize it, it might be that someone else points it out to you. But once you've realized it, once you have acknowledged that that's the situation you're in, then you need to do something about it. And you have to be really strict with yourself, which I'm rubbish at. But there is the very simple things. Start meditating for a short while each day, even 5 or 10 minutes. Read a book. Might be a fiction book, might be a new spiritual pathway book, reread a book that you love, do some research. Might be a deity, spirit animal, plant, crystal that you've not worked with before. See what jumps out at you. Might be that they are doing so to give you some support with what you're going through. Sing, listen to music, drum, dance. All of these things activate our different senses. Crafting. So I've been doing a bit of sewing, but it might be that you make something magical. It might be that you do some incense blends, or making your ritual bath sachet for you to have bath witch bottles. Help bring you some peace or some balance, or a poppet, something like that. We mentioned getting outside in nature. Get outside, enjoy nature. If you're not that mobile, open the window and just sit with the fresh air for a while each day. Only needs to be a few minutes each day to start off with, I think. Here's the one that I struggle with. Turn off your phone, step away from the computer. Just for even 15, 20 minutes a day, just so that you have some time where you are not sucked into the media world that bombards us with stuff all day, every day. Don't do it right now, obviously. Write a ritual, write a chant, write a spell or a poem, or some, short story, something, if you like to write. Journaling helps some people as well. I am rubbish at journaling. I think actually these weekly chats are probably part of my journaling, just verbal journaling. Little baby steps, I think, are the key to getting back into action and giving yourself a bit of self-care. It has to be something that you like. I mean, if you hate reading, then don't read a book, obviously. Pick something that's suited to you. David, with you, Emma. It's good to take a break from magic every so often. Do that the day after working a ritual. Sitting back and recover. Had too many injuries from running to know the importance of resting up. Yes, and I think that I think so many people that don't understand witchcraft think that we do it every day. Oh, I'm putting on a full ritual today, and then I've got another one tomorrow, and then I'm working 5 spells the next day, and it doesn't work like that generally, because we have all sorts of other things as well. And if you do a ritual properly, then it is very powerful. And although it shouldn't leave you drained, you will need a bit of a breather afterwards. Absolutely. Hannah, must admit I'm not very good at self-care. No, I think we are establishing that most of us are rubbish at it. Maria, I usually disappear, which actually does the opposite of self-care as I flare up worse than when I left. Yeah, and I think that is another point as well. It's very easy to just step back and disappear into your own little hole. Yeah, I'm not sure that is necessarily the right thing to do. It's about having a support network as well and having people that will realize that and pull you out of it, which isn't always easy. Sometimes, we do need to do the hermit thing for a little while, but you don't want to be down there for too long. That can make things even worse, I think. Ruby, no bath, nice big shower. Yeah, you can still use the herbal pouches in the shower. Just hang them over the shower head rather than in the bath. Just done volunteering for the Three Wishes Fairy Festival. Not been to that one yet. And to me, that's self-care for the soul. Being with like-minded fairies. However, my body needs a rest now. Actually, that's an interesting thing, isn't it? Separating the mind and the body. So my body's shouting at me for being in the loft all day yesterday, moving boxes and unpacking stuff and up and down the stairs. But that's a different thing to the mind and the spirit, isn't it? I think if you're working full on, if I'm having a real work day and I've run the payroll and I've done the invoicing and I've done the, real job stuff, my head is, I need a break from the computer. If I've done lots of spiritual things, then I think that feeds the energy, doesn't it? I think we were at Witchfest last Saturday. We had an amazing day. We met some wonderful people. We were at the White Raven Festival the weekend before. Fabulous energy. We didn't want to leave. And that feeds the soul, doesn't it? It feeds the soul and feeds the spirit. So it's about that, getting that balance, I suppose. I think we're always searching for balance, aren't we? Jane, you hit the nail on the head when you said boundaries. Oh, yeah. They are so important. Don't claim your space. Someone else will surely grab it and leave you feeling squeezed. I think that's possibly if you are a parent, if you run a house, if you run a job. But why are you knocking on the door? Hello. Thank you.
About the way I did a hand.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Look.
Iced coffee. Yeah.
It's called Slim Vanilla.
Yeah. Is it low fat? Well, that's rubbish.
But I thought while you're doing anything on self-care, which made me laugh, and I realised it was self-care and you were doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably going to get a lecture afterwards,
yes, I think
aren't I?
Yeah. Have fun.
Oh, that's another thing, actually, isn't it? About self-care. It's about nourishing your body too. But anyway, yeah, I think if you are a parent, whether that's to children or furry things, or running your own business or running a household, you do all of the cleaning, the cooking, the organizing, the work stuff, and everybody wants a piece of you. And it is, you've got to put those boundaries in place. I am still struggling with it. But I do, to a certain extent now, do that a bit more than I used to, she says. But yeah, I guess, I like food. So feeding myself nice things is always good. It's just, you have to have the balance with that as well, don't you? Yeah, you can taste the sweetener in that. Anyway, David, daily routine is morning grounding, meditation, bit of yoga and coffee. Coffee is important. Did you mean important or impotent? Let's not even go into that. I think that is. I mean, I'm not a big coffee drinker. I'm a rubbish coffee drinker, to be honest. I like a latte. as long as it doesn't taste too much of coffee. And it's got to have loads of caramel syrup in it. But that's my treat. I only have one a day, and that's my moment to just sit and enjoy it, like now. Although that's a low fat one, and that's a bit nasty. But anyway, you've got to do what works for you, what you enjoy. Marie bought some shower souffle off of Etsy. That's good stuff. Isn't as nice as British Botanicals. No, not much is, but it is for me. Tend to buy items I need for self-care, especially this year. That's a thing as well, isn't it? Now that our children are grown up and we're slightly more in the bank account, only slightly, because we've still got one at home who needs to be put through college and university, so expensive luxury. It is nice to buy nice toiletries for yourself. So if you are having a shower or bath, you can have something that's nice as a little treat for yourself. And that's self-care as well, isn't it? I mean, if you've got the time and the inclination, you can make your own products. There are some in the Curative Magic book. But making your own with herbs and spices and oils specific for self-care, or to boost your confidence, or to help you relax, or to ease your stress, works brilliantly. And even if you buy off-the-shelf stuff, you can charge it. So take your little pot of shower souffle, which is lovely stuff. We highly recommend the Rituals products as well. Pete is a bit addicted to those. But you can take the pot of shower gel, souffle, soap, whatever it might be, and charge it. Charge it with positive energy. Charge it with relaxing energy. Draw symbols and sigils on the lid or on the side of the pot. And that's all bringing a little bit of magic into your self-care routine. Angela, big as our house is, we don't have a bath in it. I miss my ritual baths, and it's so long since I've meditated. I'm finding it hard to do now. I'm having to relearn it all over again, which may actually be a good thing. I was having this conversation with someone the other day. Can't remember where. Sometimes, even if you have been on a magical spiritual pathway for a long time, it's good to go back to the beginning and refresh. It is good to go back to the beginning and redo your grounding exercises, your energy ball exercises, your visualization exercises, your meditation. Start from the beginning again as a refresher. And it's good to do that every so often. With meditation, I think it's about starting small. No one sits for 3 hours in complete meditation unless you're a monk. You've got to fit it into your day, but you've also got to do what you're comfortable with. And I think if you're out of practice or starting it new, keep it short to start off with, and build your way up. Jalala, we all know the power of words. Oh yeah, saying this stuff out loud today is a great way to affirm it. Yes, I'm talking myself into it. Yeah. It is about that realization. But that is the first step. That is not nice. There is that realization that that's the point you're at and you need to do something about it. And that's the first step. Karen, I use the bath for me time. I tend to catch up with reading lessons, podcasts in there as well. So it's not totally switching off, but it's a time out of sorts. It is about slotting it into your day when it works for you, isn't it? I listen to my audiobook at night time before I go to bed because that's the quiet time. It has to work into your schedule. But I think if you've got to the stage, probably where I'm at the minute, you have to actually carve out some time to do self-care. Not so easy. Janet, thing I can look forward to is my backyard. It will have a cottage vibe. That sounds wonderful. I do. My garden is my sanctuary. It is lovely to just step out there and breathe But then I think, oh, that needs deadheading. Oh, we've got no, that one needs tying up. But it's all good stuff. It is all good stuff. And it's excited. Hey, our gardening is we're already planning seeds for next spring. With gardening, you always are. It's a fluid thing. Good morning, Karen. Love the beach. Oh yeah, absolutely. So cleansing. Great to send your worries away as the tide goes out. Yes, absolutely. Angela. Oh, love the fabric behind you. What is it? Oh, this is a fabulous find. This is it is by the wonderfully talented Naomi Cormack from Nom Art. It is really nice. I can't reach it. It's that far behind me. It's really nice, soft, fine, like a not even a shawl, like headscarf material. It's really fine and light, and it's got the Wheel of the Year on it. So it's got the Wheel of the Year in the center, there, and then all of these images around it are all the 13 moons of the year. It is wonderful. So do have a look at her site. She's got some amazing stuff. Jalala, I sit in my meditation circle in the garden. A useful thing is not just to look outwards to the trees and nature, but to be seen by the trees and nature. Feel yourself being viewed, being seen by the trees, by the eyes of nature. They will not judge you. They see you and love you as you are. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yes. We should all do that. That's our mission for today. Is to all do that. Actually, we have been asked another thing for a list to set up some daily prompts for our journeys, which we are working on, and that would be lovely, just to sit and see what nature is doing, but as a sort of two-way thing. Brilliant. Good morning, Anne. Maria feels squeezed every day. Turn it into being hugged every day, Maria. You don't want to hear me sing. Oh, me neither. Pete says I can sing in all of the keys, only I do all at once, which is a very special talent. Sunflower Margie. I'm actually sitting in a different place today because we're having to fill my witchy room with all the boxes from the loft, and I can see out of the window in front of me, and it's good for people watching. So if I suddenly get distracted, it's because someone's parked their car and walking past and I'm just being nosy. Anyway, Sunflower Margie, this windy weather is beautiful grounding. Oh yes, blow away those stresses and feel the energy of the earth. Absolutely. The weather in all its forms is very magical. And if you can connect with the weather, you're connecting with the energy of the earth, you're connecting with the energy of the day, and you can use it for magical purpose. Whether it is standing in the rain, washing away every worry and woe and all of the rubbishy stuff, or standing in the wind and letting the wind take that away as well, or in the sunshine and soaking up the solar energy, obviously being very careful with your suntan lotion on. It is about working with what Mother Nature provides you, and weather is brilliant. And love self-care. I sit outside in the morning before I go to work. It's time, isn't it? It's taking that time for you, whether it is just your first cup of tea in the quiet in the morning and just focusing on drinking the tea slowly, and the energy of the tea leaves and the energy of the water and the energy of the milk, and connecting with the energy of the day. 5 or 10 minutes in your day just to make that connection. Jane, retail therapy is always good, but it's not very affordable these days. Temu has made things a lot more affordable, but there's the air miles. There's a lot more to Temu than just the air miles, unfortunately. There's a whole wouldn't touch them with a barge pole kind of thing. Not a reputable company as far as I am aware. Jane, I have not bought from them. But I think retail therapy, yes, because I do love my shopping. But it's a short, instant thing, isn't it? Do you think? It is clicking the button and putting it in your basket and paying, and that's it. And it's a short-lived thing, perhaps. But yeah, things have got a lot more expensive. We do have to work to your budget, absolutely. Ruby, I have the opposite problem. Due to health and mobility, I have too much time for self-care and lack the ability to push outside of my comfort zone. Both extremes are unhealthy. Yes, that is interesting to look at it from the other side. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's about, is it perhaps about finding things that occupy your mind more than the physical stuff? So things that feed your mind, your soul and your spirit rather than your body. Yeah, definitely about getting that balance right. Sephora, on most days we sit in our garden with a cuppa and I light an incense stick and watch nature for the length of that incense stick. Now that's a good idea. That's kind of setting yourself a time frame, isn't it? A slot out of your day. Yes, I like that. Nice idea. David, yes. You need more coffee, David. Definitely need more coffee. Dawny, I work for a game and do lots online, but made sure that every day after 11 p.m. my notifications are off so I can wind down. Once in your system, easy to do on daytimes too if needed. Yes, no, I do that. I do that with my phone. Not 11 p.m. because I am way in bed way before then. I think mine's set for 9 p.m. 9 p.m. to 8 a.m. The phone doesn't do notifications. Unless it's a call from one of the kids or my parents, then that comes through. But yes, you can set your phone to turn the notifications off. And I think that's a really good thing to do. Absolutely. Jane, there's a difference between disappearing and escaping. Yes. It's not just semantics. Disappearing can mean introspection and brooding, whereas escaping can mean getting lost in a completely different mindset. Yeah, and I think escaping perhaps a conscious thing that you do, right? I'm escaping for an hour, a couple of hours, a couple of days. Disappearing is perhaps something that you don't always have control of. You don't realize that you're disappearing until you're at the bottom. I don't know. It's, yeah, interesting way of looking at it. David, since an update, the autocorrect has been having a mental breakdown. I've had whole nonsense sentences pasted when I've just put in 3 letters. I don't use autocorrect because it is mad, totally mad. Janet was getting worried about where yeah, my coffee's here. It's actually not very nice, but that's not his fault. He opened a can of ready-made stuff and iced coffee, and you can taste the sweetener. Not nice. I'm picky. Emma, I've been reading Bipolar Disorder for Dummies, and the one thing it stresses is to have good support network. Yeah, I think that's for all of us, isn't it? I think the same goes for any form of self-care, magical or mundane. I think we all need a support network. I think it's important. And I don't think that necessarily needs to be physical people living next door or across the road or around the corner. Now that we have the whole internet, having a support network could just be someone at the end of an email, or this on a weekly, this whole weekly chat was set up at the beginning of COVID to provide a support network, not just for other people, but primarily for me, so that I maintained connection with everybody. So yeah, I think support is a good thing to have. Jane, I do mushroom coffee. I do like mushroom coffee. Nootropics is very nice mushroom coffee. Good morning, Lani. Monique, good morning. Wish I could put boundaries in place when my family is concerned. It's one of those things, I think, that if you are... Oh!
Brought to my attention There's been an official complaint.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
Yeah.
That was the
Who
skinny
bought
one.
it?
I
Who
did.
bought it?
I did.
Thank you.
Was that the skinny
I'd
one?
like that known in the public domain, please.
Was that the skinny
yeah.
one? Yeah, let's not buy
That's
that
the
again.
normal one.
Yeah, let's.
You're very welcome.
I need the full fat sugar.
As you were.
Thank you. That'll teach me to try and buy a low fat one. Oh, that's better. Full fat, full sugar, much better. Anyway, yes, boundaries with family. I think that's one of the really big things that is difficult to do if you do have family members, particularly younger children or ill or sick parents or family members, or it's very easy to get into that everybody wants a piece of you kind of thing, and it is very difficult to set boundaries, and I'm still learning it. Denise, love ritual. Oh, the foaming shower gel is amazing. Haven't tried the teas, have got the candles. Yes, but we use the foaming shower gel all the time. It is lovely stuff. Lani, Love Witch Botanicals. They are not making their products anymore, though. They have a new baubles company, Posh Balls, I think it's called now. They're not making their toiletries anymore, but they were lovely. David, it's a lot harder when dealing with family. Yeah, but they have to learn the word no, or more like we have to learn the word. Yeah, it's very hard, but it's important. I'm getting there. Kind of, yeah. Sunflower Margie, I like to charge my morning latte and breathe. Yes, and I think perhaps that is one of the times in the day that is easier to work a self-care routine into, when you have that first cup of tea or coffee of the day. Yeah, it might be that you need to get up 5 or 10 minutes earlier than everyone else, just to have that peace and to make a coffee or make a tea, charge it with intent, and just take a few moments to quietly enjoy that drink. I think that's perhaps one of the times when it is easier to have that little moment of peace and quiet. Jane, oh yes, Lush has got so expensive now. Yes, they have. My biggest indulgence is the binge for my Selwyn ritual bath. Lord of Misrule bath bomb. Yes. Caredwin's cauldron melt and Boo Slime body wash. The names are always good, aren't they? Most expensive bath of the year, but it feels really special. But I think that's nice though, isn't it? That is self-care. That is having a little bit of a splurge for a special moment for you. Yeah, absolutely. Love Naomi's work. Yes, behind me is Naomi Cormack. Beautiful, beautiful work. Karen, being in the woods is my number one self-care activity. I can literally feel the stress leaving me. If only the weather would play ball. I love trees. I'm writing a book about tree magic. Trying to, when I get space and time. Sorry, looking at the dog. I love trees. Not so keen on big, heavy forests. I feel quite overwhelmed in forests. I am much happier on open plains, open fields, moors particularly. The girls and I are going to Dartmoor next month. So that again, I think, has to be what makes you feel comfortable. And we're all different. We all like different spaces, don't we? Debbie, I've been having an afternoon nap now in my 60s and have finally conquered feeling guilty about it. Yeah, good for you. Yeah, good for you. I think that's something that we learn as well as we get older, isn't it? About listening to your body, listening and understanding your body. Yeah, absolutely. Do it. Go for it. Janet, most mornings I sit and enjoy my coffee while putting good intentions into it. It is a good way to start the day, isn't it? It is that time of the day when you can just take a moment. Karen, so you're like Eric Morecambe. Instead of playing all the right notes but in the wrong order, you do just the same with singing. Absolutely. And Eric Morecambe is one of my heroes. That's who Eric the dog is named after. I think Eric Morecambe was one of the world's legendary comic geniuses. Absolutely. Along with Spike Milligan, Eric Sykes. Well, so many of them. But yes, Eric Morecambe, one of my heroes. But yeah, that my singing sounds like his piano playing. Just Naomi Cormick is Nom Art. Her website is Nom Art, NOMEART.com for her work. It's brilliant. Jane, I went out tree hugging yesterday as part of my Kitchen Witch homework. It's so lovely to hear them sloshing and talking. Oh, I like that, sloshing and talking. I actually felt one bending from the base in the wind. Wood only bends like that when it's still alive. Oh, yeah. I couldn't bend like that now, but I like the sloshing and talking. That's going to be, I'm going to describe trees like that the whole time now. David, windy weather, not so much blowing away stress when you're trying to ride a bike uphill. I haven't done that for a very long time, David. Dawny, my Cersei. There's the Daxon doorbell. Oh, I think that's people collecting rubbish. He's not going to stop barking now. I'll try and talk over it. My self-care also involves the cat. Yes, mine involves the dog. Taking extra time for them and just to feel their love and trust in me to take good care of them. Now, there is a story. We got Eric as a menopause aid because I was struggling so much with the menopause. Pete, who didn't want dogs, didn't grow up with dogs, knew nothing about them, got Eric to help me through the menopause. And it gave me an absolute focus and something to care about and to focus my time and my energy on to get me through the worst part of the menopause. And it worked. Now he just needs a volume control. Monique, my morning walk with my dogs is when I do my grounding. I think that's it. If you have animals to care for, particularly dogs that need walking, that gives you your escape route as well, doesn't it, for a short while? Finished? Have you finished barking? Yes. Right. Quiet. Maria, we'll go back to the woods soon. Usually feel better there, whereas I can actually get dizzy in parks. It's energy, isn't it? And I think that's what I find with forests. There's so much energy from the trees. It can be a little bit overwhelming. So it has to be a spot where you are comfortable in. Ruby, reading a weather magic book written by scientist witch Deborah L. Burris. I haven't heard of that one. I will look that one. I do work with weather magic a lot. It's brilliant. Jane, have a lot of appointments these days, and I make a point of not taking anything to read on it so I can spend the time in the waiting room just meditating. Interesting. I usually chuck my Kindle in my bag to read, but yeah, I hadn't bothered about that. It's mindfulness, isn't it? Just you're forced into waiting, which gives you the chance to have that bit of mindful time. Oh, yeah, sweetener. Sorry, coffee. This coffee is much nicer. It doesn't have sweetener in it. Oh, bless you, Emma. Love this kind of support network. We are here. Myself, Ness and Heather are here. If, you know, you don't have to be a member of the school. Our community stretches further than that. If anyone is struggling, just reach out. If there's anything we can do to help, we will do. Maria, I have no coffee, so all this coffee talk is making me want some now. I don't drink instant coffee. I don't, you know, it's got to be a big old latte with lots of caramel syrup. have an upgrade. Yes, I do. Trivia doesn't have any aftertaste. I don't like sweetener at all. If I'm going to have something sweet, then I want the real sugar stuff. Zephora, Yasmin Gale-Non. Oh, I've got some of her actual witchcraft books. I've not read any of her fiction. Writes a series where main character is a witch who loves caramel latte and cake. Oh, well, I'm going to have to look those out, aren't I? I have got some of her actual witchcraft books, which are brilliant. Highly recommend. I'm going to get some of her fiction ones now. Yeah. Maria, I was gifted rituals at Yule, and that gel stuff is like magic. It is shower gel. It comes out as gel, and it magically turns into moussey foam stuff, and the cans are all recyclable. So rituals, if you're listening, I'm happy for free samples. You never know. Lani, I tried to have time to myself to get away to do things that I enjoy, having some me time, mostly because Amy is getting harder to manage. But even now, I still have a guilty times for leaving Amy with others. Getting out the guilty aspect, as I think sometimes very hard. Now, I think I can't even begin to imagine what looking after a special needs child would be. My daughter is a teaching assistant, and she deals with the special needs children at school. I don't know how she does it. Lani, my lovely, I don't know how you do it. Hats off. All of my hats off to you for the amount of work, time, effort, and love that you put into it all. It must be draining sometimes. You have absolutely nothing to feel guilty about. We have this situation, don't we, where if you are running on empty, you're going to be no good to Amy. So yeah, you absolutely deserve some respite sometimes, and you will come back to it all the better for it. And I think as well, from Amy's point of view, it's good for her to interact with other people as well. So she might enjoy the respite sometimes too. Yeah, nothing to feel guilty about whatsoever. Monique, love both Dartmoor and Bodmin. Yes, very much looking forward to Dartmoor. I love it. Yes, what Maria said, don't feel guilty. She's being well cared for, so just relax. Absolutely. Susie, love my morning cup in bed as me time, but I get a lot of me time, so I don't have to fight for it. Have a kettle with tea and coffee and those long life milk sachets. Buy them off Amazon. It's a touch of real luxury that costs very little. It is that moment, isn't it? That first cup of coffee or first cup of tea, or even last if you have, good old Ovaltine or hot chocolate at bedtime. Take some time to enjoy it rather than just, chucking it down. David, partner swears by an afternoon nap. I'm too much of a fidget for it myself. Yeah, I haven't quite got into that routine. I do nod off sometimes if I have an afternoon off, but Dawny, I have Naomi's both the decks. Love them. Love the additions to the deck. Yes, I have them too. If you're interested in Naomi's, she's got a beautiful Oracle deck. There is a review of it done last week, I think, on the Kitchen Witch Coven blog. Heather did a review of it. Yes, beautiful. And love all of them. Eric Morecambe is amazing. Yeah, that's my era for comedy geniuses, I think. Definitely. Karen, I have a tree I touch on my way to work. Feel like I'm helping it and it's helping me. Oh, yeah. Nature's very happy to provide some energy or just a connection for us. Is that the post? I think it was someone collecting rubbish that made Eric bark so much. Jalala. So I've suddenly had loads of Dachshunds come up on my Facebook feed. I blame Eric. I blame him for most things. Yeah. Ruby, got my daughter a dog to head off agoraphobia. They are, it's a support dog. Might not wear the little label that says it's a support dog, but yeah, absolutely, they are really good. They take a lot of time and effort, though, so there is that side of it. Maria, weird question. There's no weird questions. Can you become ungrounded with others who are not aware of being grounded? Can you become ungrounded with us? Yeah, it's energy, isn't it? So just as other people drain you of energy without knowing it sometimes, I guess that can happen too. Yeah, I would think so. David, you need to take a break every now and then or you fall down. Yes. I'm not good at it, but yes. I know that too well. 30 years as the family carer showed me that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, bless you, Ruby. Do you know, we're in this together. I think we should support each other. Absolutely. Oh, I like that, Sephora. You're no good to anyone if you don't put your oxygen mask on first. Yes, they tell you that in the planes, don't they, when the air hostess is doing the emergency exit bit. Yeah, and it's true. You've got to sort yourself first before you're able to help anyone else. Oh, there's the link to the blog. If you want to have a look at Naomi's Oracle cards, there's a review on there from last week. Yeah, I think we have established that most of us are a bit rubbish at self-care, me included. It is about putting things in place that support you. Small baby steps, doesn't have to be huge things. It is about reaching out for support if you need it, and that I am rubbish at as well. It's a learning curve. It is a learning curve, but it is important. But just take baby steps, really. Do things that make you happy, and try and schedule in some time for yourselves as well. But do remember, myself, Heather and Ness are here. If anybody's struggling, do reach out. If there's anything we can do to help, we will. And the Kitchen Witch community on the Kitchen Witch Coven Facebook page is fabulous too. So if you are struggling and want to put a call out there, it's a fabulous community. We have stuff on in September. Saturday, 7th of September is the Sulis book launch, but it is a 2-hour Sulis workshop with myself and the girls. We're doing a bit of a talk and a presentation and a ritual as well. Take a look at my website and the Kitchen Witch website for our events pages. We are running workshops and doing various odd bits and pieces. The online shop has lots of goodies, and we are still open for online readings as well. So lots of stuff. So there you go. Thank you for joining me. I guess this is a bit of self-care too, connecting with you guys and offloading on each other. Hello, there's a dog's paws on my back of my chair. Yeah, we're in it together, so let's support each other, because ain't no one else gonna do it. So remember, boundaries, saying no, and take care, and I will see you guys all again next week.